Hey everyone, welcome to our Monday night call. Tonight we have Melanie Lewis, one of our newest Olive Stars, on, and she's going to share with us how she engages people on social media. So, Melanie, I'm actually going to pin your camera
Okay.
so we can see you, and welcome to everyone else. Hold on one second. There we go. All right, cool. Awesome. It's all Melanie.
Hey.
Thank you for
All
doing.
right. So this isn't anything really formal, like a formal training or anything, but just kind of my thoughts thrown together on for about 10 minutes of how I've been using social media. Actually, and if you, I mean, I think I know everybody who's here live. If you don't know me, I'm Melanie Lewis. I live in beautiful Colorado in the mountains, mom of four, married my high school sweetheart. I work as a school counselor full time. So using my social media thoughtfully is a big deal because I have to find those pockets of time as well. So I'm thrilled to be sharing with you all. Um, just this week, I got a notification from Facebook saying that my engagements and all that is up because I really have been much posting much more and much more intentional, not just about olive tree people, but just in general, as I'm boosting and wanting more engagement in social media. I am by no means an influencer or have tens of thousands of followers. As a matter of fact, my like Instagram is just starting to ramp up with it was dead. It was nothing. So Facebook's kind of is my jam. I'm familiar with it. That's where I've spent most of my time with social media. I dipped into the TikTok and dipped right out. So I'm not ready for that yet. So maybe you can relate to that. I don't know. Maybe you're really great at those other ones, and this might be a refresher for you too. So that's totally fine. But I really post with purpose. It's not that I have like, I've heard lots of trainings and these are good too. Find your five pillars. Like I'm a dog mom. I love to cook. I love the outdoors. I have my pillars. These are things I love inspirational and positive things. And so I've thought about those pillars and I do think about those as I'm posting, but I also just want to be really genuine and just post what's going on in my life. My family knows now, especially since I've been doing this, I just yell the word content and then they grab a camera. Even it might be Henry, my 13-year-old. So get your family involved in it too. And I'm just doing anything goofy, weird, inspirational. It's a pretty sunset, or there's an animal on the road, a live animal on the road. Um, and I will just, take those pictures. So I encourage you to just take a lot of pictures and videos in particular, so that you have a lot of content that you can access. It doesn't have to be that you're posting it that day, so you just want to be able to have that access as well. But it's really a mix of testimonials. It's a mix of pictures, before and afters, lifestyle, just you being you. Each and every one of you have things that you love in your life, and you ought to just share those because that's going to speak genuinely to other people as well. And then curiosity, just asking questions, and kind of behind the scenes, like when we're getting ready in the morning, or I can't tell you, I've never videoed myself washing my face or putting product on my face as many times as I have in the last 2 months. And so I'm just finding that product, or finding that content, and be vulnerable with it too. We don't have to be all put together. I love seeing all of you posting as well, and your videos without makeup on. I went live last Tuesday and I was pretty sick and under the weather. And I look back and I'm like, whoa, that was a vulnerable moment, but it was something that a lot of people commented on. And so that was fun to be able to do that. So just don't overthink it would be my one thing with that. Just show up who you are on the daily. Um, and I would ask you to think about, how do you want people to feel? So like I said, I have been a counselor, a therapist, a counselor, a coach, 30 some years. And so for me, that's important. How I want someone to feel. Do I want them to feel inspired? Do I want them to feel um motivated? Do I want them to laugh? Do I want them to think more deeply, more critically about something? And it's not that I go into every post with that, but I have an idea of who I am and what it is that I want to share. And it's me, so it's just sharing me. So you share you, don't try and be somebody else, just share you. And then the big step afterwards is the engagement. You can't just post and never get back on there. Make sure you're going back and commenting on who, if they're saying something, comment something back, put a GIF in there, something. But then what I really am particularly, especially right now, as I'm wanting to grow Olive Tree and will be continuing to do, is if I notice someone who commented who I haven't really talked to in a year or so or a while, maybe it's someone that I used to work with at my last job 5 years ago. I'm like, oh, she's watching me. I had no idea she was watching me. And so then I'll jump into her private message. I'll comment and then I'll jump into her private message and I use my voice. And this part is so key, to use your voice. We can text and that's okay, but it's so much more powerful when you use your voice. Like, oh my gosh, Janet, you just reached out to me and I have, such great memories of us working together at Dunstan Middle School. What the heck are you up to? I'd love to hear what you're doing. And every single time I do that, I get a message back. And it's not always about business, but every single time, I swear it's 100%. Someone says, it's so great to hear your voice. And then they leave a voice message back. And it's so great to hear their voice. We're all so unique in our voices. So I like to see where it leads from there, but I'm starting a conversation again. I haven't talked to this woman in 5 years. What is up? How are her kids? How's school going? What are you doing in life? Yes, it's a combination, because for me connection is very important and relationships are very important, and then in our business and our industry it is too. So it's not me being sneaky and trying to be like, oh, I'm going to get them talking so that I can pitch something to them. Oftentimes if they're watching, then they have some questions too, like, so tell me about this skincare, or tell me what you're up to, and then I'll share a little bit. And it's a little nugget here, a little nugget there. You're not vomiting on them with all kinds of posts and videos and everything. It's just bit by bit, but every time I'm engaging in a question back. So those questions are so important, and it's the open-ended questions of who, what, when, where, and how. How are you doing? What's new in your world? But use your words, like, oh my gosh, how's so and so? Maybe you loved their dog. Oh my, how's the dog doing? And if I haven't seen them in a while, I will share this tip. I do go and look at their profile, because I kind of want to get an idea of what's going on in their life. I don't want to be like, oh my God, it's so great to hear from you, if they just posted that they had a tragedy in their life or something's big changing. So I do a little research if I'm going to reach out if I haven't seen them in a long time. Does that make sense? Yeah. I never say, hey girl. I use their name. So take a moment and use their name. That makes a lot of difference when you use somebody's name. Um, and as we're thinking about our business too, like, wow, you're looking strong. You're looking fabulous. What's going on? What skincare are you using? You can ask those types of questions too. And kind of lead with curiosity. I'm just naturally a curious person, so just lead with curiosity, and that's always going to lead you to somewhere wonderful. So it's about real connection. I wrote some things down. I saw this quote and I thought it was cute. DMs are a cozy corner, not a sales floor. So it's not like you're going out on the sales floor at the mattress store or at the car dealership. It's a cozy corner for you to connect with someone. I think fireside chat or just a walk through the woods for me is when I do my most great connection with people. And for me, I have a rhythm, not really a rigid schedule. It's not like I'm up at 5 and I post, for 30 minutes or whatever. So I do carve time in my day. I do make sure that if I don't have time in my day, then I am getting up earlier or I'm finding those pockets of time for sure. So I did a training years ago on time management, and one of the things that really resonated with me and others is that finding those pockets, just those 5-minute pockets, like what can you do in 5 minutes, ladies? Because you can do a hell of a lot in 5 minutes. Maybe it's clean the toilet. Maybe it's 5 minutes of weights, right, Julie Hayes? Like 5 minutes of picking up some weights and doing weights. Maybe it's 5 minutes of calling your best friend and connecting. Or maybe it's 5 minutes of posting or creating some content or scheduling posts or something. So when I talk to people, maybe they're in the carpool line, or perhaps they're at soccer practice and their kids there for an hour and a half. You can get a lot done in an hour and a half when you're intentional and when you're thinking about it and when you plan for that, because you can sit and play candy corn. I don't even know what that game is. Candy Crush. Right? You can do that. If that brings you joy and that is, your trajectory, then go for it. Like that's you. But I will say, then don't say I don't have time. I'll be the first to call someone out on that you don't have time to post something. Dogs are barking.
You
Family's home.
can't hear them.
Okay, good.
Mm.
So finding those pockets and being intentional, and even writing down, sometimes like a fun exercise you can do is thinking about what can you do? Like, do you got 5 minutes? You got 10 minutes? Do you have 15 minutes? What is it that you can do? And if you know and you have that written down, you can even just go to your, like when you're first starting with this time management thing, like go to your paper and go, oh, okay, I have 10 minutes. I can knock this out. I'm gonna do that. And then eventually it'll just come naturally to you. Eventually it'll just come naturally. Um, I do believe when I think of a person that I'm meant to reach out to them, and that's my personal philosophy. I would call it karma, call it whatever, empath or whatever. But every time I do, it's always for some special reason, and it could be something little, like, man, I just had a rough day. It was great to hear your voice, or something like that. So when you have that thought, act on it. Don't second guess it. Just act on it. Leave someone a message. I had a really funny dream the other day, and my friend Mickey was in it, and I called her and I was laughing, and it was a 30-second message about this funny dream. And so it was just a fun connection. So whether you think of someone, you dream of someone, you have a memory or something sparks your memory, reach out to them, keep that connection going. Um, let's see what else. You popped in my mind.
Melanie, one thing you mentioned was the way that you ask the questions. And guys, you can all Google this, but I know Melanie and I both took some training called heart-centered listening. And so I love that about when you are reaching out to someone. I think, Melanie, that's what you do so well, is that
Yeah,
you listen with your heart. And when as long as your heart's centered, you're never going to have to really worry about your intentions, because you know that the way that you listen is with integrity, and it's
yeah.
really powerful.
That's so true, and that's the formal word for it, heart-centered listening. Yes.
Awesome.
Something's beeping. It's the potatoes. Can you just turn them off?
All right, Mel, do you want me to wrap it up? You feel like you've covered your content and is dinner done?
Something's beeping. They're home. Yeah, I think the only thing I would say is, yeah, post with purpose, comment intentionally, drop those DMs with your heart, your personal messages, voice it up, make sure you're using your voice, and circle back with people, stay connected, and just inspire others. And when you do that, your social media will begin to build and burst, and people will be coming back to you too, because people are definitely asking me more questions now than they were a month ago. People that were not from my former company, people that I know in my world.
Awesome. Thank you,
Yeah.
Melanie. Guys,
You
we're going
bet.
to stop this recording now. I'm sure it'll be posted. If you want to ask questions, just reach out to Melanie. I'm sure we all know how to find her. So hold on one second.